It is my great honor to speak in front of you. I have two questions to ask you. First of all, do you all want to play a big game? Are you committed? Okay, then the second question is, are you ready? Mentally, physically, and also do you have the supporting structure and a network to support you to be successful, to play that bigger game successfully? Yes? Okay, I got a great yes answers. Let's look at how I did play a bigger game. Today I'm going to share with you my journey as well as the fundamentals for you to advance your career. My first job was at IBM. When first time I wrote like great piece of code, I showed it to my architect. You know what he did? He looked at me, he turned around, he walked to his cube or office. At IBM, we all had an office. He came back with his chair. He FTP'd all his libraries, and in the 4 or 5 hours, he rewrote everything. I looked at his code, I was like, oh my God, I could never be as good as he is. So he's still an architect at Google. So I said, I can be your manager. So at that moment, I took class, I get mentor, and at IBM, I get on the path to become executive. I'm going to talk to you about the other two turning point over my life. That was the turning point because I felt I could never be as good as he is, as a coder, as a low-level architect. So in 2004, I was promoted as VP at the Vitria. The president of the Peking University alumni came to me and said, how about you share the fundamentals for your career advancement? So in 2004, I did the first talk called the 10 Steps to a Successful Career at the Santa Clara Library. And 200 people came, and they invited me to more talks. And then you know what happened? Those are the original 10 steps. And this is also the content of my book. I'll tell you why I wrote a book. So over this many years, since 2004, in the last 13 years, I talked more than 100 companies, and I talked to more than several thousand, if not 10,000 people, and in all those companies. But you know what? There's another turning point. That was Cindy, and also a whole bunch of people from Yahoo invited me to speak at Yahoo in the weekend. And one of the person, I think his name is Joey. Joey said, you should teach at Stanford. I said, you got kidding me? Me teaching at Stanford? So next day, I went to the company, and I said, someone from Yahoo said I should teach at Stanford. Christina, who was my director of customer support, said, totally, you should go. Here's the number. Let's go talk to Stanford. I talked to Stanford. They said, sure. Really? So this is my first class. And then the student said, Elizabeth, we love your deck, but we wanted to read more. How about you write a book? Okay. See? My career got snowballed and pushed forward by my student, by the people who went to my talk. I think there's several things I like to share with you. First of all is understand yourself. Understand your strengths, your weakness. And the next thing is to elevate your thinking. Not only just think about your current level, to think at your next level, the level above, and the several levels above. And I always say, always look 2 levels up. Why do you want to do that? Because once you start to look at 2 levels up, you can help your manager to be successful. When your manager is successful, your manager is promoted, you will be promoted as well. So that's how I got a lot of promotions. And then last but not least is the branding and networking, and the building a digital brand is extremely important as well. Let's talk about those things. So because I studied the physics, I always thought about modeling. So I built a little box. The box is called a virtual position to really understand who you are. So what I did is I looked back all the major milestones, all the major conflicts, all the major discussions, all the major turning points, and then look through all the events in my life and then try to understand the aspect of myself, the value, what do I value more, right? And then to use that to build a mental model. This is a very important concept because this can become a model for you to understand your manager, your manager's manager, and your CEO, your customer, your board member, whoever you're having meeting with. So this is so important. And also, people keep saying, all about thinking. Yeah, so what does that mean? That means you step out of your own box. You step into someone else's box. That is called out-of-box thinking. So by doing that, you can think win-win. You can make your box bigger because now you play a bigger game. You make it win-win. You got it? Okay. Another thing is, do not try to be perfect. When I was young, my mom wanted me to be perfect. My grandma said, if you want her to be perfect, there will be two consequences. What is it? Either she die young, or she will become nobody. My mom didn't want me to die young, so she said, okay, I'll leave her alone. So the point here is, you need to think about yourself as a star. What does that mean? You have a strength and a weakness. Weakness is a part of your signature. Don't call it a weakness, call it part of your signature. Who you are. Because once you start to focus on your weakness, you're just like, oh my God, did I make a mistake? And then people around you become very nervous as well. They think you are very, negative. So you need to really think about it. How can you focus on your strengths? Give you a story. When I first came to the States, my English was really bad. My mentor said, go present to the ESL tutor. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. She said, because you have some strengths in culture and background. And your English is not good, but give you a chance to practice, to speak in front of a large group of people. So she used my strengths in deep understanding in the culture and as a foreigner to really bring out my presentation skill. So think about it. You building out your strengths and then make sure you become a bigger star. And it drops the heavy load. A lot of people care too much about money. $5, do I need to clip the coupon? Oh, blah, blah, blah. I said, give me a break. Spend your time and put up some budget to do lunches, to buy books, to go to the seminars like this, to expand your network and to show your appreciation. Not only to say, thank you for helping me out. Okay, here's a Christmas. Here's a little gift for the help you have done for me. And I'll take you to lunch. Why? Because you helped me with that particular coding problem, right? And you review the documentation for me. May I take you to a coffee? Do that. Show your appreciation. People will help you again. And instead of using I, using we, give people the credit. Because at the end of at a later stage of your career, you find out people brought you into particular opportunity, not because you have a lot of credit, because they trust you. They believe in you. They see your strengths. They trust you as a great team lead, a great team player. So trust is way more important than credit. And then, stop pleasing others. Be yourself. I think the previous panel talked a lot about be someone who's authentic. And then think about it. Do not do anything illegal. Just try to please your CEO. If you look at it, a lot of companies, they fell because people try to please each other. They did something illegal. The whole company fell, right? So this is a very important concept. It's called a virtual position. We talked about this. Another concept is called multi-dimensional thinking. What does that mean? Meaning, let's see, we're gonna have a business conversation, we have customers, we have CEO, we have a VP customer support, we have a VP engineering, you're the architect. What would you do? You're not gonna present your architect in a way that nobody can understand it. When you talk to the VP of a customer support, you present a solution. When you talk to the customer, you tell the customer the impact. When you talk to the CEO, you tell him, you know what, it's all taken care of. Don't worry about it. You know, when you have this kind of a discussion, you will have a same level discussion when we have the promotion. The number one question is this person at next level? What does that mean? It's not like you're doing a great job at your current level. That's a given. Are you demonstrating, have you already demonstrated the ability to perform and to be successful at the next level and the next few levels? So this is a great mental block, mental exercise to think, can I become more strategic? Can I go think at a different level? So go home, homework. Go build out the virtual position, try to practice this multidimensional thinking, and to go zoo, zoo, zoo. And then by doing that, you can carry out a conversation at the next level, the level after, and you can play a way bigger game. So we don't have time to talk too much about brand. I strongly suggest you to look at the linking to really build out a great linking profile and then also to build a great resume. I think brand is a book. You have a name, meaning the 7 words talking about who you are, the image, who you look, do you look like next level or do you look like a coder, right? Yeah, do you look like the person you want to be? Right, think about it. That's your front cover. And chapters, I strongly suggest all of you, this is another homework, write 2-minute stories using the 5 Ws about every single project that you have done. What, why, and what you learned, and what are the challenges you had. And practice that. And then show the whiteboard. If you're a technical person, do the whiteboard diagram about your design. Practice on it. When you go to the interview, you will become outstanding. So mentors, I have so many mentors. This is just a sample of a mentor. One thing I want to say is to respect your mentors. If you look at Beth Smith and Josephine Chen, those 2 women were my first 2 mentors at IBM. And Joe mentored me on the technology, and Beth mentored me as the management skills. So every month I went to meet with Beth for 15 minutes. I got out of there on the 12 minutes. You got to respect them. And when I got to the WITI, I invited both of them. Joe came, and then Beth had a critical customer event. She couldn't come. But you just say, stay in touch with your mentors. Take them to dinner, go to some games with them. Do something more important than to do parallel communication. Go hiking with them. Those are the good activities. And do the reverse mentoring, meaning you help them to become more successful. So to summarize, what are we going to do? Always look 2 levels up. If you can look 3 levels up, 4 levels up, it's even better. Do better. Do your job better. Look better, meaning to build a great brand. And connect better, meaning to connect with your peers, with your mentors, find your supporters. So that's how you become successful. Last, I want to share some experience with you. When I dropped my son to an art class, I used to go shopping, and an art teacher said, you spend money buying all those unuseful stuff. Why don't you come to study? I said, no, I'm really bad. I cannot learn with kids. Kids are so fast. I said, trust me. So I found out I was actually faster than the kids. But you know what? When we learn new things, we expect ourselves to be perfect, to never make a mistake. You know what? Treat yourself as a little baby. Remember, you had a baby. When the baby fell, oh my dear, you bring the kid up and then embrace them. So same thing. If you made a mistake, embrace yourself. When you reach some milestone, buy some nice clothes, nice shoes, and really, reward yourself. And the most important thing is you have to show your passion at workplace and demonstrate your passion. Write the passions on your face. Tell everybody, I love my work. I wanted to play a bigger game. I have the passion.